They are obviously coming from very different places, so I think that's going to be tough. But if he treats him like a client, like he knows how to do as a banker, he could be very effective in that role.
Joel, do you agree? Could this be a win? I mean, this is a very different scenario than when these two gentlemen last met. We're not talking about the G7 or the G20. You know, the president likes, quote unquote, the royal treatment. And at those other meetings, there was a series of world leaders. And when there are a series of world leaders, President Trump doesn't get to be the one and only. Right now, he is truly getting the most special presidential treatment, and that is what President Trump likes most. Could this be a relationship win for Macron, bringing President Trump back into the fold, following a meeting that many said, well, I guess we're going to call it the G19?
Well, Stephanie, it certainly could be a win for Macron, but not necessarily for Donald Trump. And Macron can have it in all different directions. He can say to the Europeans and the international community that he stands with the Paris Climate Accord, that he is concerned about global terrorism and supports international alliances. And at the same time, he can say that he is the bridge to the United States and Donald Trump, which is trying to pull away from that. So in a sense, have his cake and eat it too. So Macron can come out a winner, but from an American perspective, to be led by other countries as this appears to be going, it doesn't help us when we have to advance our core issues. It really leaves us at in a sense, the mercy of the direction of other countries, and that is what may come out of this meeting as well.
But Joel, let's get real. Isn't any win a win for the White House right now? If it's a step forward in terms of foreign relations or policy, given what's waiting for the president back at home, which is a swarm of reporters and lawyers and a White House in flux, isn't any sort of positive outcome here in France much better than what his alternative is?
It certainly is better than what's happening right here in Washington, but we also have to remember that France and Macron, his election was a firewall against some of the far-right and pro-Russian mischief that was underway and still is underway in Europe and in the United States. And it's interesting that Steve Bannon is not on this trip, because Steve Bannon was closely aligned with Marine Le Pen, who Macron defeated handily by a 2-to-1 margin. So in many ways, yes, it's good for the president to get out to show that he still has a key role on the global stage. But in terms of what he is going to get out of it from an American perspective, what are we going to advance? It's not at all clear that he's going to have an agenda that shows really how the United States gains advantages from these meetings beyond a positive visual as we see right now.
Nayyera, could they have a positive if the president, for example, chooses cybersecurity as a focus? There has been so much confusion and criticism. When he left the G20 on Sunday morning, it was, yes, how about a cybersecurity partnership with Russia? And by the end of the day, it was, well, maybe not, that won't work. But if there had been one, or if there should be one going forward, to have one with the likes of a place like France, where you did see Russia try to interfere in the election, or Germany, that would be a positive win. And it would enable President Trump to turn the page and move past the guffaw from Russia.
And that would imply that there is a policy agenda here that we just haven't really been seeing as part of any of President Trump's overseas visits. Traditionally, when you have a meeting between two heads of states, it's not just about touring historical sites and reaffirming the relationship. It's actually about advancing some common interest and coming out with communiques, memorandums of understanding. All of these are technical terms to really cement what you're going to be doing in places like Syria, working on counterterrorism, or working on issues like climate change. But this is what we've been talking about, and you've pointed to. The undercurrent of domestic politics is playing to both audiences here. And so for President Trump to just come on and get this kind of reception, for him at this moment, that's the win he's looking for.
All right, Nayyera, Joel, Steve, Bill, we're going to take a quick break. Still ahead,